Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So I wanted to run you through really quickly how we do a cockpit drill. So a cockpit drill is something that you do right at the very start when you first get in the car. It makes sure that we're sat in a nice comfortable position and everything's set up safely so that we can see and control the car properly. So the first thing we're going to do when we get in the car is make sure the doors are shut. So give it a little nudge just to make sure you shut it properly as you got in. The next thing we're going to move is our seat. Now there's a couple of ways that we need to move our seat to make sure it's correctly adjusted. You're going to need to be able to see over the top. Make sure that we can see out over the top of the car. So the first thing we can do is we can pump ourselves up. So there's a handle on the right hand side of my seat, which if I pump it up, I can go up or I could go down. So it works both ways. So once we can see nicely over the top of the car and out the front, we can then move the base. So there's a metal bar underneath the seat here. You're going to want to be able to put your left foot all the way down on the clutch fully without having a straight leg, without having to reach for it. But at the same time, you don't want to be so close that you're really cramped up. So metal bar, slide yourself forwards or backwards, again, depending on what you need. And then just check it, make sure you can put your left foot all the way down on the clutch pedal. There we go, make sure it's locked into place. You don't want to be sliding around as you're driving it. The next part of the seat we can move is the backrest here. So you want to be nice and comfortable, be able to reach the steering wheel, wrist balances on top of the steering wheel. When you hold it, you've got a nice bend in your arm, you're not reaching for it, and you're sat, not upright, but in a nice comfortable position. You don't want to be laying flat out like a lay flat bed. It's not a bed, but again, at the same time, you don't want to be sitting too far forwards that it's really uncomfortable. So into a nice comfy position where you're sat. The next part of the seat we can move or need to adjust to make sure is the head restraint. So it wants to be level with the top of your head. Now in my car, the head restraints are absolutely massive, so they don't really require too much movement. And again, I think this is probably the highest setting it goes in my car, but you want it to be level with the top of your head to make sure that your head's protected if we do have an accident as we're driving. The next thing we're going to ensure that everyone's wearing in the car is our seat belts. So that's the next stage of the cockpit drill. Make sure you put your seat belt on. Then we can adjust the steering wheel if we need to. So in my car, there's a little lever under here. If we pull that, that then frees the steering wheel to move up and down and towards you and back from you. So again, I prefer my steering wheel a little bit low, but basically you want to see over the top of it so you can see the dashboard. So I'm going to adjust that now and then push the handle back up to lock it into place. Once we've all done all of that, we can then move on to our mirrors. So we need to adjust our mirrors to make sure that we can see out of them properly. The first one I'm going to adjust here is the center mirror. So you want to be able to see out the whole of the rear window. So I'm just going to bring that down so when you're sat in your normal driving position, I can see out the whole of the rear window. I can see the head restraints in the back of the car either side. But for all intents and purposes, I can see out the whole of the rear window as much as possible. The next thing we're going to move is our door mirrors. Now to enable me to do that in my car, we need some electrics on. So without touching any pedals, I push my engine start stop button, brings on the electrics. I then can use the control panel on the door here to adjust the mirrors. So I'm sliding it across and then I've got a keypad and I'm just going to adjust the mirrors. So you want to be able to see about a slither of the car on the inside of the door mirror. So if you use imagine about a thumb width is normally a good measurement. So I'm going to bring the mirror in. You then want to be able to see the sky, the road, and again in my car you'll be able to see the rear door handle sort of in the bottom part of the mirror. Once you're happy with that, flick it over and then we can control this mirror. So again, I'm just setting it the same. So I'm bringing the mirror in so I can see about a thumb width of the car and then setting the height so I can see the sky, the road and the rear door handle in the bottom part of the mirror there. Once I'm happy with that, I'm locking those into position so they can't be moved. One final check I get all my pupils to do is just to make sure that we've got some fuel. Gets into a good habit because you don't ever really want to be running out of fuel when you're on the road. So have a quick check. Yep, I'm nice, I've got fuel for my journey. If not, plan it, add it into your journey. I'm going to go to a petrol station, I've only got a quarter of a tank, I need to go fill up. And that's how we do a cockpit drill. So every time we get into the car, with me on my lessons or in your own cars, in your private time, just have a check, make sure everything's set up properly, it's all nice and safe, and you're going to be nice and safe for the journey. And that's it for today. Thanks for joining me on another video. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on the next one.